Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ashanti, and in this video I want to talk about the things that I've learned since my 20s, because if you don't know, your girl is in her last year of her 20s. I am 29, okay? I will be 30 years old in February. I'm not ready. I'm ready, but I'm not ready, okay? But I wanted to make this video just to, like, I don't know, just kind of like talk about the things, you know, that I've learned, and hopefully inspire others to just stay motivated through their 20s, because it's hard out here. We get it, and you're not alone. We've all pretty much gone through similar things in our lives, and especially in our 20s. So hopefully this video just encourages you out there. If you're excited about this video as I am, then I'm gonna need you to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss another upload. It's free and it helps you support this channel, support your girl, okay? And it motivates me to continue to make content for you guys, okay? Thank you. All right, now let's get into the video. First and foremost, my 20s have been a roller coaster, okay? To say the least. My 20s were definitely a learning curve. From beginning to end, okay? Still, I want to talk about finances. For me, finances were my 9-to-5 minimum wage job, okay, that I wasn't really making too much, so therefore it was kind of difficult for me to save what I wanted to save. But I really wish I took saving more seriously back then, even though I wasn't making a lot. Like, minimum wage back then for me, I want to say $8.25 or $8.75, I can't really remember, but yeah, so imagine trying to save off of that. But I did use that money just to survive, make sure I had food, had gas in my car, what else, I paid my little insurance, and that was about it. I didn't really think too hard on it. I was too busy trying to have a good time, okay? I didn't care about that job. I really want to emphasize for you guys out there who are still in your 20s, early 20s, mid 20s, to just save more and take it serious. Like, take your financial literacy serious. I would have loved to have been financially savvy. I knew a little bit about credit. I had my first credit card in my early 20s, had my first checking account in my early 20s. It wasn't as emphasized on its importance. In my household, money was deemed as scarce. People in my family were afraid of money. They were afraid to lose money. They were afraid of gaining money, thinking that it was the devil, or thinking that it was, you know, something bad behind having a fat bank account, okay? It wasn't really taught to me how important money can be and how good it can be. Over time, I just kind of like been learning on my own, and I'm breaking a lot of those bad habits or poor mindsets about money, those poor patterns, and, you know, stuff you learn growing up, or how, you know, money don't grow on trees. That's a famous line. Just focusing on abundance and not a lack mindset. If I don't encourage you to do nothing else, save your money. Save your money, learn about investments, learn about stocks, build your credit, because it is so important. It will leverage you past the average person. Okay, y'all, so next I want to talk about relationships. Yeah, I knew this was going to be in here. Relationships, being that it's romantic, platonic, but first I'm going to start with romantic relationships. I could have saved so much time and heartache and stress and energy had I known what I know now back then. Y'all, I was so just obsessed with relationships. I was not by myself that often. I was in relationship after relationship, seeking love in all the wrong places, okay? I had no true sense of self back then. Going through my 20s, I was looking for love. I was looking for myself. I was just lost. And if I wasn't with nobody, I was lacking. You know what I'm saying? Versus thinking like, I'm still that girl, you know, whether I'm with somebody or not. And just being insecure and not having the self-confidence that I needed to have. I placed a lot of my self-worth in those relationships that served me nothing, okay? They gave me nothing. You hear what I'm telling you? I even got in those relationships on superficial reasons. So that should tell you right there, like, just because he was tall, just because he was cute, just because he had muscles, just because he was on the football team or basketball team or whatever. It was just like, and not to be too hard on myself, because when you're young, especially when you're in high school, those are things that you value. Those are things that you know. That's all you know. But going into my 20s and seeing other things, meeting other people, you know, going through the college phase and everything like that, I really wish I wanted more for myself back then, beyond being in a relationship with somebody or finding love. I ignored so many red flags, y'all. Oh my gosh, if I told you all the stories, like, it was terrible. Like, you would be like, girl, what? I am ashamed. I'm ashamed, but at the same time, I'm grateful because it made me who I am right now. It made me the woman that I am, and it taught me so much. It taught me what I want, what I don't want, and just I've grown as a woman, and my confidence has grown, and my self-worth and my value in myself has grown. So everything happened for a reason, but girl, child, whew, I'm so glad for growth. So thank God for growth, okay? My platonic relationships were not that much better. I had friendships, well, at the time I thought they were true friendships, but they weren't. And people backstabbed me. Like, I was such a good person. I was the best friend you could ever want, but I wasn't good enough for them, and they took me for granted, blindsided me, you know what I mean? And that was hard for me, and it made me not trust a lot of people. It took me a long time to trust again, but after I, you know, was upset about it and everything, and I finally got through it and got over the situation, I learned that it was for the better. I cannot see myself hanging with that person today. Like, no, we are on two different playing fields, okay? Like, rightfully so, okay? And I'm just glad that I made it out of that, and I found a group of people who I really rock with. Like, they rock with me for real. They accept me for me. Moving on to family relationships, and I'm gonna keep this brief because I can go on, but I won't. So it took me a while to come to terms with I am who I am, they are who they are. As long as I'm proud of me and accepting of me and what I like, my interests, what I do, who I am as a person, that's all that matters. And I focused a lot on, you know, being accepted by my family members, not being judged, wanting to please everybody, taking their opinions and, you know, their, like, letting them put their fears on me, or letting them put their doubt on me, or letting them put negative words and energy into me versus relying on myself or relying on God or relying on the people who actually poured into me. And it wasn't that many. Me growing up, being 20 something, going through my 20s, now being 29, I'm sorry, what? You're not gonna tell me what I'm grown just like you're grown, okay? I will never disrespect you. I will never come for you like that. Just make sure you respect me in the same, all right? And we don't have to agree. It is what it is. Like, I know that I'm a good person. I know what I'm doing for myself. I know the value I bring to myself and to my community and other people. So that's all that matters. All that other stuff is irrelevant. So let's move on to personal things that I've learned. And these are like things that are just more so about me as a person. One thing for sure, and this is like kind of to piggyback off of what I just said about family and, you know, wanting to be accepted and things like that, I cared a lot about what people thought of me, and I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't put so much value on that, because it just left me confused. It left me misunderstood. It left me just lost, okay? Because I didn't have my own sense of self. I didn't have my own identity. I was trying to figure out who I was through other people. Like, I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to fit in. And in order to do that, I had to not be accepting of me and who I actually was the whole time. I thought that I wasn't enough. I thought that me being me was not enough. I was the introverted, shy, reserved, you know, soft-spoken individual. And once I kind of grew into my early 20s, I came out of my shell a little bit more, but I wasn't true to me. I was trying to party like they partied. I was trying to do what they do. I was trying to, you know, behave how they behave, and not thinking that, oh, just because I like this type of music, it's okay, and the way I dress is okay, and how I think is okay. I've always been wise beyond my years, but I've never wanted to come off as the motherly figure type. I never wanted to be the moral compass for my friends. I never wanted to just have more common sense than them. Being reckless and not having common sense and not being wise and all that was never in my genetic makeup. I couldn't do anything wrong, like bad, because I was afraid it was gonna hurt my mom, or I was afraid that I was gonna suffer the consequences really bad and be embarrassed. I was afraid of letting God down. I always had those internal conflicts within myself, so it never would let me go too far. It would never let me go where my friends would go. Like, they were just wilding, you know what I mean? So I didn't have the guts to do all that. And quite naturally, I've always had that self-intuition. And this is a great segue into spirituality. So for me, spirituality has been a journey, as for many people, and I struggled. Like, I knew God from an early age. We were raised in the church, but I always had questions. I always was never clear and sure. And being in a Black family, I can speak for my family, it was the matriarch, okay? And the matriarch was directly connected to God. And what she said was what it was. How she thought was what it was. And anything outside of that, it was sin. It was the devil. It was not of God, and all of those things. So imagine being a kid wanting to be successful, wanting to be great, wanting to do different things and take different avenues in order to be somebody in life, and things that inspired you, like music and fashion and all of those things. But being told that, yeah, you can do it, but do it like this. And it's like, that's not how I wanted to do it. So when I got older in my 20s, I started seeking on my own. I was so confused. I didn't know everything I needed to know. I had not read my Bible front to back, okay? I was just out here and trying to find my way. And of course, I hit a lot of bumps in the road, but I've always had God with me. I've always had that internal moral compass within me, and that never steered me wrong. So I followed that, and it led me to spirituality. I would learn, I would read, and I'm so grateful that I had that mentality to seek on my own. And I really wish I would have done that in my 20s more. I really wish I would have dove more into that, but like, with age and with time, that's where the growth comes. That's where the development comes. It happened the way it was supposed to happen, but I just appreciate me just taking that step on my own. And just because you were raised a certain way does not have to be the end all. And I've learned to always seek on my own and always seek knowledge first, and not just rely on what people tell me. So the last thing I want to talk about is careers. I know that it's easy for people to say, like, oh, when you go out of high school, you need to know where you want to go to college. You need to have it all figured out. I'm here to tell you, you don't. Like, you think in your 20s, when you're 21, 25, you think you're supposed to have it figured out, but you're really not, because it's the beginning. Not to say that you have all the time in the world, you don't, but the misconception that you have to have everything together, you have to have the house and the car and the kids and the husband and the career and the business and the everything, like, you don't have to have, that's unrealistic. Some people have that, some people got that early on, and that's great. But just because you don't experience that right away, it does not mean that you're behind. I used to think that a lot, like, I'm not where my peers are, I'm not done with school yet, I'm behind, everybody else graduated, I don't have my car yet, or I don't have the car I want, everybody else is riding around in nice cars. I had to stop that, because your mind will steer you in all kinds of directions, and it will convince you that where you are is not enough, or just watching other people. And that's another thing, I learned to stop watching other people. Like, stop watching what they do and comparing myself. That does not help me. Their journey is their journey. What's for them is for them. What's for me is for me. And their beginning is not my beginning. My journey is mine. And what's for me will always be for me. And understanding that I am where I'm supposed to be. Had I followed my passions sooner and not let other people convince me not to do certain things, I believe that my career and my aspirations would have unfolded a bit sooner. And I would have been less confused, I would have been less lost. I let other people stop me from my passions, things that I really wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a fashion designer, I wanted to be an interior designer, and I was really good at those things. The fact that people would tell me, oh, you can't make a job out of it, you can't make money from that, and all of that stuff, I let that deter me from pursuing it. And I really, really regret that. Like, even if I didn't blow up doing those things, I would have still done it out of the passion I had for it, out of the joy that I got from it. So I'm here to tell you, whatever it is that you want, you're passionate about, you enjoy, do it. Go for it. Don't wait. Don't, like, especially if you're in your early 20s, or even mid-20s. Like, don't wait. It's never too late. You could be in your late 20s, but the point is, the earlier you go for something and possibly fail, the better, because you still have the rest of your 20s to figure it out. So that's not to say that anybody past their 20s does not have time to figure it out, but it's just a bit easier when you know that you have, you know, cushion. Do it. Like, don't let nobody or nothing stop you. All right, guys, I hope that video was some inspiration to you. I just wanted to share my experiences with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Support me, support the channel, and it helps me stay motivated for you guys so I can continue to make content. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.